Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of the city of Belgrade in Serbia. The official regional name administratively is City of Belgrade, and it's just basically like this area here. I didn't bother to draw it out because it's not very large, but obviously it's centered around Belgrade, which is how we say this city in English. Belgrade. I know that's not how it's actually pronounced, but it's part of the policy on my channel that I just pronounce everything in American English because that's the language that I speak. I always say I'm not going to call it Paris. I call it Paris, I'm not going to call it Belgrade. I'm going to say Belgrade. So my apologies if that offends you. I'm not trying to offend you. I'm just trying to keep it cohesive. Belgrade means white fortress. So it's often called the White City because of that. Just like Belarus. Bel means white Russia. Bel means white in this corner of Europe. So there's not much geography to mention here because, like I said, it's pretty much just this area here, other than the most important thing, which is the confluence of the Sava River and the Danube. Pretty much where these rivers meet is where the majority of our history is going to take place, and that is where Belgrade is centered. These two mighty rivers meeting up, becoming the Danube. Now, Belgrade has a very long and turbulent history, and I'm not going to go over every single little tiny detail because we'll be here all day. Many different powers occupied this area. I'm only going to mention the most relevant ones and the most relevant times that they did that. So just know that this isn't going to be a comprehensive history. This is going to be an overview in ASMR. But Belgrade is one of the longest inhabited areas of Europe. They found evidence of Neanderthals, very early Homo sapiens, very, very early settlements here. Which again, the confluence of these rivers, it's a good spot to camp out. Start setting down, I guess, roots, I suppose. In the 4th century BCE, the Celts built the very first fortress there at the confluence, like at Belgrade, White Fortress, right? But that would eventually be conquered by the Romans, who would establish a settlement here called Sigdunum. And that would last until, I believe, 441 CE, when it was destroyed by Attila the Hun and his Hun army sweeping through. And it was after this period that this area changed hands many times and was occupied by many different powers. We've got the Byzantines, the Franks, the Bulgars held this area for quite a bit during the peak of the Bulgarian kingdom, and I think the 900s, I want to say. The Avars came through. Many different peoples came. The Byzantines came and went as people invaded. It changed hands a ton. But the most important one we need to mention is in 1282 when the Serbs took over the area. And in 1402 it was made the capital of the Serbian kingdom. The capital would move around a lot, but it'll come back, as you can see. Belgrade's the capital of Serbia today. It'll come back. In the years 1440 and 1456, the Ottomans attempted to take over Belgrade, and they failed. They launched 2 huge sieges. One, I believe the 1456 one thwarted by John Hunyadi, but they would eventually be successful in 1521. The Ottomans would besiege the city and manage to take it over. they would hold on pretty steadfast, except for 3 different invasions by Austria-Hungary. They would conquer for brief periods of time, and the Ottomans would come and claim it back. So it's an important corner of the Ottoman Empire, Serbia. They'd get all their janissaries from here and all of that. But of course, the Serbian people can't be held back. They gotta voice their opinions. There's a couple of stereotypes I know about Serbians, and one of them is that they're very loud and determined, but in the good way. You would want your Serb friend on your side if you need to pick a fight, they'll fight for you. Basically, from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong. That's one of the stereotypes. They're very passionate people. They will fight for a cause. One of those causes at this time, sorry for the loud motorcycle going by in the middle of the night. One of those causes was independence from the Ottoman Empire, and they would launch a full-on rebellion in 1804, and was successful for quite a while. The Ottomans didn't take Belgrade back until 1813. But it was really the first domino falling in Serbian independence from the Ottomans. It would go all out in 1862 at the Shukr Fountain incident. I hope I'm saying that right, where an incident led to Ottoman soldiers killing a young Serbian boy. Like I said, the domino started to fall. And eventually in 1867, Serbia would gain de facto independence, literally the Ottomans handing them the key to the city. Hey, Bonnie. Bonnie's awake. Okay, Bonnie's awake. She's making kitty noises and scratching under the couch. Let me get her 1 second. Okay, where was I? Literally handing over the keys to the city. And Belgrade would then become the capital of Serbia again, and would remain so to present day. It still is. At the dawn of World War I, Austria-Hungary declares war against Serbia, and the Austrians would occupy Belgrade from 1914 to 1918. And then during World War II, from 1941 to 44, Nazi Germany would occupy Belgrade. And of course, this was a very dark chapter here. Both wars, I should say, the city was bombarded and destroyed and needed to be rebuilt after the fact. But World War II was pretty rough. A lot of destruction, a lot of, imprisonment. The Jewish population here very obviously suffered a tremendous deal. And the partisans, of course, I should have said what's now Yugoslavia at this time. It wasn't Serbia, it was Yugoslavia. After World War I, it became the Kingdom of Serbs, Croats, and Slovenes, which that's a really terrible name. They changed it to Yugoslavia. Much better name. Bonnie, you need to stop. I know, you're just trying to help, but I really need you to stop. Be a good girl, please. She said no. She said I'm not a good girl. Okay, well, that's my Bon. Yugoslavia. So yes, after World War II would begin the era of Josip Broz Tito, the strongman of Yugoslavia, and really the only reason that it held up against everything going against it, and Yugoslavia remained very powerful and fairly stable until his death. Then Yugoslavia would be headed by Slobodan Milosevic, and that was another domino knocking over in the survival of Yugoslavia. Milosevic would wage wars against the other areas that broke apart. Croatia, very famously Bosnia, Herzegovina over here. There were many protests in Belgrade against what was happening over in Bosnia and other parts of former Yugoslavia. And of course, those protests would not end well for some of the protesters, if you know what I mean, trying to keep it YouTube friendly. But it was really when Milosevic went after Kosovo, down here, you can't see Kosovo down here, that enough was enough, and in 1998, NATO bombed Belgrade. But that was definitely the last time that this city was bombarded and I wouldn't say destroyed, but attacked by an outside force. There's quite a few times, weren't there? Reading the history, I was like, oh, come on, again, and then again, and then again. Belgrade was attacked or bombarded or invaded or razed or something or other. That was definitely the last time. Belgrade is a flourishing city today, very famous for its nightlife. It's another stereotype about Serbians and definitely people from Belgrade is that they are party animals. I think of that one TikTok of the Balkan coffee shop at 8 a.m. That's when I think Belgrade, I think that. There was a big project on the Belgrade waterfront starting in 2014 that was built by the Serbian government with cooperation from the UAE, from, I guess, investment from the UAE to create luxury homes and shopping, things that you'd find in Dubai, basically. And it's very modern compared to the rest of Belgrade, which is either brutalist or interwar, or even some stuff before World War I that survived, in juxtaposition to what's left of the old fortress. You can find just many layers of Belgrade's history all throughout the city, and I think that is pretty neat. So that is the very summarized history of the city of Belgrade. Let me go grab my tablet and we will explore beautiful, beautiful Belgrade on Google Earth. Let's go. Here we are in the city of Belgrade. And let's start by zooming out so you can see exactly where we are in the world. Here is Serbia. You can see landlocked by Hungary, Croatia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Montenegro, which used to be part of Serbia until, what was it, 2007 when they separated? Kosovo down here, which Serbian viewers, calm down. I'm just saying it's there. North Macedonia, Bulgaria, and Romania. So you can see the plains up here. This is Vojvodina up here, this region, before you start hitting all of the beautiful mountains of the Balkans. So we're kind of at the confluence there. We're definitely at a confluence, aren't we? It's one of those areas that is like on the road between major powers. You know, you've got Austria up there, the Ottomans were down there. There was a lot going on surrounding this area. So one of the reasons that it was invaded and occupied and destroyed and all of that so often is just because of where it's located in the world. And one of those cross points, you know, the Danube was very important to control for a long, long time. It still is, technically. So yeah, all out here, there's not really much. As you can see, it's mostly farmland. There's a big mine over here. There's a forest, so on and so forth. I wonder if I can remember. There was one little town nearby. I think I typed it in. Let me see if it's in my recent searches. Yeah, Starchevo. Yes, way over here. That is where a lot of that early man things, artifacts were found. Neanderthal and early Homo sapiens. But I have to find the museum. Here we go. Oh, that's the actual place, not the museum. Oops, not Street View. No, please, please, please. No, that's not what I need right now. Where did the museum go? Right here. That wasn't so hard now, was it? You can see they've set it up so that you could see what life was once like here in Belgrade. Definitely what life was once like here. And we can see lots of cool artifacts from all throughout history here. Looks like a talit right there. but I'm not sure. All throughout history. Let me see, I'm looking for the old stuff. Yeah, what people would once wear here. You can see pictures there of like old flint tools and arrowheads. Lots of little art. They were into figurines. I mean, lots of people today are into figurines still, so I don't blame them, but they really did enjoy their figurines. And the school trip is here. Awesome. Field trip. Learning about old history here in Belgrade. So let's hop over to the actual city and let's start. Dum dum dum. Here, I can't remember what it's called. It'll say the Kalemegdan. It's like it starts with a K and I can't remember. The Kalemegdan, which is basically where Belgrade began. You can see, oh, it's in 3D, that's right. What's left of the old fortress here. Here's the Sava River. Here's the Danube River. Here at the confluence. The Kalemegdan is the heart of history here. You can see the old walls where the river meets. Lights all lit up there. That's the big tower that I mentioned on the waterfront. Hey, Tummy. It's time for breakfast. Yep, this is if you want to explore old history here in Belgrade, you come to the Kalemegdan. Whoa. I wouldn't advise you do that, but that is silly. We got some old tanks too. A little reenactment, a replica of what the fort once looked like. We've got dinosaurs. I'm telling you, every time, without fail, I find dinosaurs. Dinosaurs, Doraemon, or the Little Prince. But it's almost always dinosaurs. If I don't find one, I find the other. Let's look at 3D. We can see, oh, this is a very famous monument. The Victor, commemorating their victory over the Ottomans. And he's standing out, looking over the confluence of the rivers there, being like, this is our land. We got them out. Look at that. That's so cool. So medieval style. You can tell that this fortress was like built and built and built and built. And destroyed and built up and destroyed and built up. Because you can see different eras of architecture around. Ta-da. There's this butt. Sorry. Wow, all kinds of missiles and things here. Yeah, all the history you can find over here. And there's lots of different sights to see around here. Let's look at Belgrade Fortress here. Can you hear the early morning birds? That's pretty much all the pictures we've already seen. What's this? Looks like inside a chapel here. You can see the icons. Very cool. Yeah, all of these slideshows are really great. I've got lots of other things to show you though. This one's pretty good, like this main entrance. This hot tower. Definitely rebuilt. As you can tell, see the old wall there. But yeah, they're all great. I highly recommend that, the dinosaurs, that you explore this area yourself and see what history you can find. Look at that aerial shot. That's amazing. With the big bustling city back there and all of the old history, all the layers of it. So cool. This area is great. If I ever come to Belgrade, you know I'm coming here first thing to explore all the sites. Another memorial here. Monument of gratitude to France. Thank you, France. Very Soviet style, brutalist style monument there. Thank you, France. All right, let's head into the city and see what we can find. Here is one of the main roads here, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Big fountain there in the middle. And it's just absolutely beautiful, beautiful architecture, isn't it? Like I said, all different eras of Belgrade's history. Oh, there it is up for Christmas. You can find buildings from all kinds of eras. But this one's absolutely gorgeous. Lots of good shopping. As you can see, there's no cars on this road. It's just foot traffic. Those are the best kinds of roads. You can get the best food and the best, like, goods on roads that don't allow cars. Just look at all the eating you get to do here. Nice. We have the main park over here. There's the ethnographic museum. We'll look at that actually. I do love a good ethnographic museum to look at what people once wore and how they once lived. Just like a regular living room here in Belgrade once upon a time. Beautiful costumes and headdresses. Look at such nice. Like, I wonder if this was like an aristocratic outfit, judging by all of the gold and bronze things around, because those are very beautiful clothes. Just a little basic bedroom there. See, like, to me, this looks like the peasant clothes, but they're still absolutely stunning. I would love to wear dresses like that. Ooh, that's a cool stone. I wonder if it's a tombstone. Very Byzantine. Yeah, pretty great. Another cool museum over here while I'm thinking about it. There's the Serbian Museum. We'll look at that first. It wasn't the one I was thinking of. We'll go to that one next. But the Historical Museum of Serbia, where you can see the crowns. So cool. Of the past kings. And don't give him a hug. Oh, wow. You can give him a hug. He looks very soft. Beautiful crowns of the past kings. Religious artwork. Non-religious artwork. Secular artwork. Don't give him a hug either. That knight does not want the hug. That's a pretty crown. That's like a classic crown, isn't it? Like if you picture like a medieval crown, you picture that. Not something like this. That's so pretty. All the little jewels in the gold. You could give her a hug. She'd be very soft. Probably very heavy hug. Look at the scepter and everything. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful clothes here. And what their furniture was like for the royalty. Look at all the jewelry. Amazing. The museum I wanted to show you, somewhere over here, here's the big beautiful city here, is the Nikola Tesla Museum. If you didn't know, Nikola Tesla was Serbian. He lived in Albania though, but it was neither here nor there. Here's the Tesla coil. This big invention, which I'm not quite sure what Tesla coils are meant to do except conduct electricity and go brr brr brr. But oh look, there's his clothes. Wow. But he sure built it, didn't he? He was very much an eccentric and a genius. Thomas Edison stole a lot of his ideas. There's a, what was it, AC current he discovered, I believe. And Edison was DC current. It's one or the other, I don't remember, I'm so sorry. But one of those figures that is actually deeply important to the history of the modern world, who gets looked over. Probably not so much anymore because of the cars, but anyway, here's Republic Square, the real heart of the old town. Here you can see it gets all decked out for Christmas in a big way. Holy moly. I wonder if they do Christmas markets here. Do you think? It's all decked out for Christmas here. I think that's all the stuff I wanted to show you. What's this museum? Oh, it's just still a tourist museum. Illusion Museum. All the big cities have something like that. There's lots of big bridges crossing the Sava here. Let's find the most famous one. There's the Waterfront that we'll look at in a second. Is this bridge right here. Come on. Thank you. At least I think it's that bridge, right? Yeah. Oh no. This bridge. I just saw the towers. This bridge, that bridge. Like the bridge. Like if you're in Belgrade, If you say, you know, I drove over the bridge, they mean this bridge. Very cool and very brightly lit up. And there's some art underneath. How great is that? Yeah, this is the one that gets all lit up at night. Very, very neat. So yeah, over here's the waterfront area. You can see all kinds of happenings over here. Looks like convention space, to be honest. Looks like there's still, at least when this photo was taken, still building out over here. But you can see the mall. All kinds of big shopping. You get Hot Pot there. And then this big building here, where it has, of course, shopping, and I think it's like a hotel, yeah. And office space and residential space. That's where Belgrade River Fest is. See, look, they're building it out still. I don't know, does it say what the year? It usually says in a corner somewhere the year that, I don't see it. Oh well, when this was all built. Let me know, those of you who live here or have been here, if this is all finished. Belgrade River Fest. Looks like a big music festival. Now Jet Jaguar is here, scratching under the desk. My manager's here. All along the riverfront are these party boats. So there's a historic ship there, but you can look at that in your own time. Are these like nightclubs on the water. I was hoping I could find, I feel like I saw one when I was over here, but I don't know if it's gonna pop up. Oh, haha. Move Belgrade. Let's see. Oh, they got some good food here. Anyway, that's one of the many things that Belgrade's known for. It's not just its nightlife, but its watery nightlife. Over here is another important region, the main park here. I guess we look at this museum. Oh, it's the Contemporary Art Museum. Isn't that beautiful? Whoa. Looks like some kind of Eurovision nonsense right there. They got a double-decker bus with a horse on it, as one does. All kinds of cool stuff. But yeah, here's the big, like, main city park before we head into more of the industrial areas of the city. You can see over here. Definitely old city, modern city, but like the most modern city is New Belgrade, which is over here. I was way off. New Belgrade, which, you know, as the city expanded, created a whole new town, basically suburbs. Look at these. Now that's some urban planning, if I ever saw it. Oh, that's a cemetery. Even better. That's kind of cool. That, is it a cemetery? It's gotta be. No, those are homes. Are those homes? It's a cemetery. Okay. That's what I thought. Anyway. So yeah, this is all in development. It's a gorgeous cemetery from above. My goodness. But anyway. Down here is the Ada Lake. So all of the area around it is reclaimed land. So this was once part of the river, so that they could create a lake. And there's a big lakefront. You can see the water splashy area over here. They've got all kinds of lakeside watery activities to do. You can go swimming. There's the rowing team on these cool dragon boats. There's swans. There's the park around it. You can get some food. It's got all of the lake activities, but within the city. Isn't that great? You can get some drinks, get on your boat. Big fountain. Holy moly, that is a tall fountain. Get the dogs out. There's the big bridge. All of that good lakeside stuff. So obviously there's so much more to see. Oh, here's the Yugoslav Museum. Hold on. Museum of Yugoslavia. Cool. There's the old flag. Military uniforms. Don't give him a hug. All kinds of, it looks like awards. This looks like some kind of running trophy. All kinds of goodies here. Weapons. Those, like old busts. Cool old statue. Fountain, maybe. Some items. I don't know. Yugoslavia. There's the key to the city. At least I think so. At least a key. A cool little porcelain horse figurine there. All kinds of goodies there from what once was. But the place that I have to show you, the real heart of the city, is over here that you saw in the intro. This is the Church of Saint Sava. If I remember, it's the biggest church in the Balkans, which is really saying something, if I recall. Isn't it gorgeous? So, I think it was the Ottomans when they first attempted to invade. There were a lot of artifacts of Saint Sava housed in the city, and I think it was the Ottomans. I could be wrong. It could have been someone else. They made off with them, and I'm sure they scattered around. Who knows where they went? So this was built in commemoration of what was lost. And it is an absolutely gorgeous building. I don't know why I get Hagia Sophia vibes from it, because it's definitely not an Ottoman building. I'm sure the Ottomans tolerated this but weren't too happy about it, but I guess it's that Byzantine style architecture the Hagia Sophia has, huh? It doesn't look like the Hagia Sophia, but it has those vibes, to me at least. Looks like something happened here. What is this? Someone let me know. It looks like a big pile of rubble. I want to know what that is. Because I remember, what was it, World War One? Oh, look at how pretty. My goodness, just all the colors everywhere. Or maybe it was the NATO bombing. It was one of like the major bombings of Belgrade where the city was wrecked, but the St. Sava Church was untouched. Which is wonderful to hear because this building is beautiful. I think it's this. This is the Hagia Sophia vibes, like the huge looming paintings looking down. I think that's it. But that is it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this style of content, please consider subscribing, especially now because we're about to hit a lot of City of Blanks. And oh my gosh, of course, it just knows when I'm done and it has to crash. One second. We have a lot of City of Blanks coming up. Almost all of them are capital cities. And there's going to be some good ones coming up next week. Next week is a big week. But I wonder if you can guess which capital city is next. It starts with a B. I'll give you that. City of Blank, starting with a B. Do you know which capital city we're visiting next? After that, we're going to head up City of Edinburgh, City of London, which I'm excited for those, among many others. So be sure to subscribe so you won't miss out. Also, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. Decked out for Christmas. I hope that, sorry about that, my pencil hit the mic. I'm trying to put it down. I hope that you found this video to be relaxing and educational. And I hope that you have a good